This program is brought to you in part by the Royal Bank of Canada, serving Canadians for 126 years, one customer at a time. And Canadian Airlines.
Hello, and welcome to a special edition of DNET, the Disability Network. I'm Ming Wong. On today's show, we'll see that whether you plan it or not, pregnancy is a learning process for any woman. The program you're about to see explores the expectations and the realities of pregnancy through the eyes of two women with disabilities.
Well, you gotta get that crib for one.
Laura Mackenzie broke her spine 2 years ago when she fell out of a window. Now both of her legs are paralyzed. Just as Laura and her boyfriend Rob were beginning to adapt to Laura's new life, they were hit with another surprise.
They never thought to take a pregnancy test because I kept telling them, no, trust me, that's not what it is. Rob, he wasn't supposed to be able to have kids. So that's why for 3 months I thought I was sick. It was weird. Because we never planned on having kids, but... And then even when I called to get the results and she said it was positive, right away I just didn't believe it at first. I was thinking positive, that must mean positively not pregnant or something, because I was thinking, no, that just can't be. I cried for like hours.
I was really happy. A little scared, mind you, but I was really, really happy. Like I said, she was upset. She thought like it was the end of the world or something, but I was really happy.
Well, I called my mom. She's in Saskatchewan, and I was crying. And I told her I have some news, and to be honest, at that time, I really considered it really bad news. And she was ecstatic. And her friend told me she ran all the way down Main Street to try and find my dad, because she's wanted a grandkid for so long. It made me feel a lot better, because it made me feel that they had confidence that I would be able to take care of a kid. If I had planned to have a kid, I would have taken some steps ahead of time to know what I was doing.
Laura's pregnancy wasn't planned. It came as a surprise. Karen, on the other hand, planned for the birth of her son, Corey, in detail. She and her husband, Todd, felt they had no other option. Karen's been quadriplegic since she had a sports injury 8 years ago.
You get pregnant with knowledge. That's what you do. Know your enemy. Get pregnant with knowledge. If you don't have a supportive partner, then maybe find a supportive friend. There's a lot more things to consider. Attendance, who's going to help you? Do you have backup? You need backup, both emotional and physical. You need to be very structured. You need far more structure, whether you're a para or a quad.
Much KG, Corey? I think we both always knew that we wanted kids. We knew that Karen was capable of having children, and so it was just deciding, the opportune time.
Okay, Corey.
They mapped everything out, but as we'll see later, they weren't prepared for the circumstances that arose after Corey's birth.
First thing my doctor's telling me is, well, there's 30% chance something could be wrong with your baby because you're on this drug. Maybe, you could consider a clinical abortion because your baby might be hurt from it.
She's got a leg pain, really bad, and they had it under control with some medication, but it's a strong medication for heart patients, and as soon as Laura found out, she quit all her medications, and she deals with the pain on her own. Just like I see her some there, and she's just writhing in pain, but she just doesn't care, because what's important to her is the baby, and she doesn't want anything to happen to it.
I was taking blood thinners, which were really dangerous if you're pregnant, and so that's why they were saying maybe you should have an abortion, because...
Oh, nice. Did you have a test?
Yeah, but I just thought I thought I'm not going to love my kid less if something's wrong with him. I have to see my doctor pretty much every 2 weeks because I'm a high-risk patient from the disability.
it's a different situation, I guess, if you're in a chair, you know? Like, there's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration that you wouldn't even consider on people that aren't in a chair, you know? First I was told you're gonna have a C-section. Then I was told you should have natural childbirth. Now they're telling me we'll have to induce labor. You know, like they keep, like, just make your mind up and let me know I'm gonna have this kid and when I'm gonna have this kid. Babies don't sleep at night.
Aside from planning for the actual birth, another real concern was making sure the hospital and the doctor's office had the right equipment to meet her physical needs.
I need my pee. I always bring pee with me, right? They always say, they give me little glasses, because you know, you go see an obstetrician, the first thing they want you to do is pee in a jar. Thanks. Like, there's not one bathroom in the hospital that's accessible, that my chair fits in. Whenever I go there, I usually have to wait a long time after my appointment time because they have to get some people to come and pick me up and put me on the table. You know, which is sort of weird because you think at a hospital they would have tables that are accessible for people in wheelchairs.
Okay, ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3.
You would think a hospital would be really accessible, but it's really not that accessible. Thank God there's elevators, or then I'd be screwed, though.
That's good.
Everything okay?
Everything's okay.
All right.
I just have migraine headaches all the time.
Okay, let's start one thing at a time. Let's first get the bladder problem. From the headaches and the bladder infection, do we have any other problem? Your weight gain has decreased. That you have changed the
I'm the
scale?
same as I was a month ago. I'm eating really good though. I eat a lot. Trust me, I eat a great deal. Shut up, Rob.
Okay. Do you think she eats okay at all?
Because I'm being induced, is that going to change? Is that going to make labor easier? Or?
No, labor is labor. It's
Couldn't BS me a bit.
What's the tiny hand doing?
Yeah.
Oh, he's sucking. Oh my
Now
God.
he's stretching.
No way.
Oh, I can't believe it.
That's again the biggest heart. Well nourished.
Oh, right on.
There you go.
See, I told you. And they'd be like, we're not picking anything up. That's empty.
That's very good.
Oh, that's amazing.
Laura's day continues with a trip to see the anesthetist. She's there to talk about the type of pain management she'll be able to use. She's considering an epidural, a local anesthetic injected into the lower spine.
I'm Dr. Brose, I'm the anesthetist, and you're a patient of Dr. Akura, is that correct?
Yes.
And let me give you back this.
Oh, thank you.
I guess the reason for the consultation is with your paraplegia.
I should just tell you that as far as the epidural goes, that's the reason why you may have to see my x-rays, because
Oh, I know, I realize
that's what the
that.
doctor said. The hardware may be in the way and there may not be anywhere to put it.
I feel a good space here in your back for the needle to go. So that's a good start. Whether, as I said, whether once we get the needle in, we'll be able to get a good spread of the local anesthetic. That's something that we won't be able to answer until we have actually done it.
Yeah.
I always feel good after I go see my doctor, you know. So I go see him every 2 weeks. I'm a high-risk patient. I'm always assured that he's fine. And how would you feel if you were stressed and the doctor said your baby's doing great and he's healthy and you're feeding him well and his heart's beating fine? I wasn't ready to have a kid. I wasn't ready to do it, which is why I'm so unprepared. Because of my disability, information isn't as easy for me to get at that has to do with the disability. But the thing is, people are so willing to help if you know where to look, you know?
Now that Laura's 7 months pregnant, she's staying at a health facility where she can get the extra help she needs. After she has the baby, she'll be able to go home.
One thing mainly about my disability and the reason that I have to stay in a hospital right now is because 2 years ago, after my injury, I learned how to transfer into my wheelchair. Now that my body weight's all shifted around, I didn't realize that it would make that much of a difference. And like I said, I would transfer and I would be careful and I would watch what I was doing. But just because I have this extra weight, I would fall out of my chair, you know?
Being pregnant has meant a lot of changes to Laura's life. But with help from the staff, she's able to do the things she needs to do safely. That gives her the time to think about her relationship with Rob and their future as a family.
Rob and I have been together 5 years. We've been through a lot of stuff together. We both love each other very much. I think in some way or another we'll always be together, you know. Like I said, I'm, you know, it's fun to, you know, when we went out and partied together and we used to do really fun things together and that, but things are a lot different now. I have to think mainly of the kid, and if Rob can fit into that, then that would be good. But regardless if we're going to be together as common law, which we have been for 5 years, I think he'll always be a part of my life and the kid's life. And, you know, but who knows? I mean, we get along really good, and he makes me laugh and happy, and, you know, like I said, he does some really stupid things sometimes, but the good things he does far outweigh the bad things he does, you know?
Her being in the chair, we didn't know if a lot of the things that she was going through was because if it was a normal pregnancy, or because, you know, this is the way her body is telling her that something's right or wrong, or, you know, it's changing. So we had nobody to go on. I mean, it was just, you know, a lot of talking and a lot of, you know, support in both ways.
My only big concern was eating, and I did get sick, like the flu, that kind of thing. So I had to keep pushing stuff into me without getting sick. And eating and keeping the bladder infections at bay. And if they didn't stay at bay, I had to make sure that the medication was right and that it wouldn't hurt the baby.
Karen takes Valium to help stop leg spasms caused by her disability. She checked with her doctor and made sure it was okay to take the medication during her pregnancy.
Can I do that?
I got frustrated many times, and so did she, but, you know, that's probably why we get along so well, because, you know, we communicate well, and we listen and talk things out.
Are you ready? He made me feel like we could hurdle it, no matter, even if we hadn't covered everything that we thought needed covering, we'd handle it when we got there, and whatever it was, we could deal with it.
Despite all the planning, one of the things she had to deal with was totally unexpected, and it happened in the delivery room.
The perinatologist that was on call said, is anybody coming? And I'm thinking, they should be here by now. I could see the clock on the wall. And he said, well, you know, I could take the baby now, or I could wait a bit longer. But I'm telling you something, if he crowns, you know, I'm going to have to take him. And I'm thinking, but Todd's going to miss all this. So the time's ticking, and I'm thinking, slow down, baby, slow down, baby. And all of a sudden, Todd and Mom come sauntering into the delivery room, and the whole team comes crashing in behind them. And I said, where were you? And, well, they stopped for a coffee and a donut. And I said, what? What'd you do that for? I'm having a baby and you're at Tim Hortons? And they said, like the delivery, a first child usually takes a long time. So they were just sort of whiling away the hours. And I said, and this child's been trying to get out of me. And it was like 10 minutes later, they took him, like just by force, they just took him out, plucked him out, that was it. It was so neat.
I think the whole birthing process, it just shocked, it was unbelievable. You know, the day before, you know, Corey was inside Karen, and, you know, half an hour later, there's Corey, you know, screaming away and breathing air, you know, that was really something.
Karen and Todd made a lot of plans about raising Corey. They planned to hire a nanny to help out. Karen was adamant that she would do 90% of the work and the nanny would do 10%. But once the baby was born, things didn't quite work out that way because Corey needed extra care.
He was born with a cleft palate and a cleft lip, and they have all the top geneticists and all that there. And you get that big mother guilt. Oh my God, I was on Valium, I was on this, I was on that. But all that time, they said, no, that doesn't matter. If you were on this and this, I'd be concerned. He's got to settle, and he's got to know that he's going to be staying there.
Corey's cleft lip and palate meant Karen couldn't breastfeed him. On top of that, Corey was extremely colicky for the first 4 months. Todd and the nanny, not Karen, were the ones that could calm him down. All this meant Karen didn't bond with Corey, so she began to withdraw from him.
We had a nanny living in with us, so she would get up in the middle of the night sometimes with Corey, and it would just rip Karen's heart out, hearing Corey cry in the other room, and she can't do anything about it. Somebody else has to go and pick up Corey. And as time went on, she found that when she was holding Corey, Corey didn't want to be there because, she was getting comforter and food, elsewhere, with our nanny, and that was tough, and with me. So that, I think, was the starting point of, the rejection, that he doesn't love me, maybe, or,
Say, what does this say? Ask me tomorrow, but not today.
Other things made Karen question her ability as a mother.
I would go through a mall, or I'd be in a public place, and I'd see a woman swoop her little girl up and look at her and smile, and the child would giggle. There are things that you don't plan for because you don't even think about it. You don't think, oh, gee, I'm going to swoop that kid up in my arms. I wanted to throw him in the air and catch him, and I wanted to chase him around the house, and I wanted to play games with him the way Todd did. And people would say, in time. Well, hey, Cor, come here. See, he's got his own agenda. You've lost him physically. You're starting to lose him mentally. And then everything just shut down. It was... In you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in me. I was not his mother, and that was it. That was it.
During the first year of Corey's life, Karen felt she failed as a mother. She needed to find ways of connecting with Corey. Todd was the one with helpful suggestions.
When he did start to crawl and when he did start to walk, it made a little bit of difference, but not the drastic difference that I was looking for. And that's when Todd said, well, let's try doing things so you're there whether he likes it or not. And now he likes it when I'm there, but it's just that we have to make it work.
Play blocks with me? Okay, let's get Mom in here too. Mom's the best block builder.
Hey, Cor, come here.
Karen's electric chair. I made a little piece of plywood that could sit on Karen's lap, so Corey could sit on there, and they can go for long walks for half an hour or two, and spend some good quality time together. It's tougher now that it's getting colder out, but that was a big help.
I get into my electric, and then Todd would put him on top of me, and we just switched into high and go. And
so how did it make you feel?
Oh, like I was his mom. Like I counted.
Are you gonna play nice? Are you gonna play nice?
Corey, no, that's bad. You know that's bad. You play nicely. You have to be nice to your toys, Corey. You don't throw. You have to sit down if you're not nice. Vicarious discipline.
Karen and Todd use time out for discipline. Corey has to stay on a mat until he's calm and ready to apologize for his bad behavior. When Karen is disciplining Corey, she can't physically make him stay there. Todd's the one to take him. When he's ready, Corey has to apologize to Karen, not to Todd. This reinforces Karen's authority as a parent.
Dad won't push me.
No, Dad won't push you.
Won't push me.
What do you have to say?
Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. That's okay. That's okay. Let's play now.
Like all first-time parents, Karen and Todd are learning as they go along.
Okay, but you play gently.
Meanwhile, Laura and Rob are planning the nursery.
We got a crib and we're getting blueprints. Rob's gonna have to fix it so that I can get into it. I changed table. I just need one that's comfortable for me to change a kid on, and Rob's gonna have to put a little ramp around it so the kid can't roll off it. And as far as the stroller goes, obviously I don't need one of those. Hi guys.
Hey, Laura.
No, it's not nearly as hard as I thought it was gonna be as far as equipment goes. Hi there.
How are you?
Good. It's good to see you. But then again, I don't have the kid yet, and maybe I'll have him and go. They were wrong, actually. I do need all this equipment. No, it's not that bad, though.
What do you want for your child?
I just want him to be loved, and I know he'll be loved. You know? Everything else, I've no doubt I can handle everything else. I mean, and I can handle loving him, too, but I mean, I'm not worried about, you know, like I know I can take care of him. I know he'll have clothes, and he'll have toys, and he'll have high chairs and all the stuff kids need. But I just, you know, I just want him to be raised in a home that there's no tension in and there's no unhappiness. Because I think even when babies are newborn, they sense things like that, you know. And I just think you just have to make an effort to get along with people and let him know that he's loved and their people are happy that he's around.
Go outside and play in the shed again?
Okay. Oh, that's nice when you want Mom.
My mom.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Take it on tape, yeah.
Good stuff.
Can you give her a hug?
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Cora.
But him?
Don't you? You do what? You see, but this is a classic. This is where my interaction comes in, and we just have to just keep it up.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
Just like everything else, so you know, you get frustrated. What can you do? You put up with it. You deal with it. I'm sure the baby will be worth it in the long run. All the frustration, you know. It is, right?
We'll find out the answer to that question later in the season. We'll follow the remainder of Laura's pregnancy and talk to her after the birth of her baby. If you'd like more information about pregnancy or parenting, write to us. Our address is coming right up. That's DNet this week. I'm Ing Wong. See you again next week. You can write to us at Disability Network, CBC, Box 500, Station A, Toronto, M5W1E6.
This program is brought to you in part by the Royal Bank of Canada, serving Canadians for 126 years, one customer at a time. And Canadian Airlines.